So today we're speaking with Liz, and Liz is a clinical psychologist. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do?
People come to me, and people like me, for a range of issues. Most common ones would be for depression, or when they're just generally feeling a bit down and they haven't been able to pick up from that feeling for quite some time, feeling anxious or worried about things that are on their mind. Might be relationship issues or trouble with school or work. A real mix of issues that might come through our door. Generally speaking, they're not feeling the way they would prefer to be feeling or functioning, and it's come to a point where it's gone on too long for them. We sit down and we start to just look at what's happening with them in their life at the time. Why them? Why is it happening particularly to them? And why now? Why particularly at this point in time? So we go through a whole range of things, looking at what's happening in their life and how things are affecting them. And then towards the conclusion of maybe that first appointment, we start to get maybe some key areas or goals that people have highlighted with me, and we've highlighted together as areas they would like to get some improvement on.
So psychology is basically talking.
Basically talking. We sit down, we have a chat. Often people have a cup of tea or coffee in their hand. Often people feel very nervous about that first appointment, particularly if they haven't been to a psychologist before. So they will feel a bit apprehensive, a bit nervous. It's often the first time they've had to talk about themselves in such detail, and that doesn't always feel natural.
But it's not as scary once they actually meet you. The second time around, it's not too bad. I mean, is it going to be just for things like depression, or can it be just general life stuff, bullying, or family stuff, friends, everything, all the above?
All of the above. And it can be anything from having trouble at school with teasing or bullying, not feeling confident, anxieties, phobias, relationship difficulties is one of the most common ones that I see across a really wide range of ages.
So boyfriend, girlfriend,
dramas, friendship issues. And to be honest, our interpersonal relationships are really, in my view, are really key to sort of how we feel we're functioning and feeling in general in life. Psychologists and a psychiatrists differ in that a psychiatrist is actually a medical doctor, so they go through doctor training. They are trained around diagnosis of mental illness and psychological conditions. And they would be trained to look at what would be the most appropriate types of medications that would help with resolving of symptoms depending on the diagnosis. A lot of psychiatrists might do a talk kind of therapy, but a lot don't. And often maybe the consultation times will be shorter in my experience, and I'm not talking for everybody here because I don't want to sort of be too general, but often the consultations might be shorter and have less emphasis on talking through issues. And sort of more emphasis on diagnostics, getting medication right, and monitoring people's response to medication. There's a time and a place for that, so that is an option, but it's not
the only option.
Not the first or the only option. And my line of work, and in terms of what I would do with someone is, we always know that's there as an option in the background, but we need to explore, whether somebody is going to respond much better and maybe more quickly to a talking kind of therapy, like cognitive behavioural therapy, or just basically sitting down in a chair with someone, looking at what's going on with you, what's happening, and what are some of the factors that we can sort of look at to help them with.